Hello, guys, and welcome to another Random Reviews podcast. So, today's video is going to be a follow up of another one that I did before, where it's a custom paint job to a holster and a magazine holder. And I think I showed that I had another one that holds two magazines. So, I decided to also paint that one. And I've been trying to record this video for the past maybe 3-4 weeks, and for some reason I was having problems with my microphone. It was not recording the audio, so I think I fixed it. So I'm gonna try it again. So I'm gonna start by showing you what I did before. If you haven't watched that video, then I would suggest for you to go and watch that one first. Um, so that you kind of like know what was the plan. As I mentioned from time to time, or maybe once too often, I am a huge Star Wars fan. For the old stuff, the new stuff, I think it sucks, but that's not either here nor there. So I like to theme my things, the ones that I can, with Star Wars themes. Forgive the redundancy. So the first one I did was this magazine carrier. I need to remember magazine carrier. I don't know why I have problems remembering that particular word. It's not. It's a carrier that holds a magazine, but it keeps slipping my mind. Guess I'm just old. So anyway, um, I started with this one, and as you can see, it's not that like good of a paint job, per se. Let me try the light. See if Hold on. Let me see if I can make it look better. It's too bright. Maybe yellow light. No. Maybe brightness. Give me a second. Okay. I think that may work. Yeah, yellow light. I think is a little better. So anyway, I painted this with acrylic paint. Okay, and this, as I mentioned before in the other video, is been like that for, I would say, I want to say almost 7 years now. Definitely more than five, but almost 7 years, I would say. And as you can see, the only damage that it incurred is on the corners, on the edges of the magazine carrier. And because of course it's rubbing against my shirt, and it goes in between the belt, and so it has taken some damage. Not damage, it's wear. So the way I paint this, so that you have an idea, is I use a paintbrush, and then I do designs by hand and everything else, and I kind of like make it look the way that I want it to look, and then I spray flat clear spray on it, just to try and seal the paint in, because acrylic paint, as you may know, is washable. So if you paint something and you don't like it, but you do not add the clear, you can actually wash it with a little brush, and maybe warm water. It'll soften up and it'll clear completely. But I don't want that to happen, so that's why I add the clear coat on it. So it gives you the chance to correct if you don't like the theme, if you don't like the way it looks. You can actually wash it and repaint it again. It's not that easy to do. You do have to put some elbow grease into it, but it's doable. So it's a way for you to fix something that you don't like, which is an upgrade or a better option than to use just spray cans, and then you don't like the way it looked and you're stuck with it, because it's harder to remove, even though it can be removed too, but it's way harder. So this I did as a test, and at the time I only had this magazine carrier, and it had, uh, I think the word is stood the test of time. So I know I just have to repaint it and kind of like make it look better, and it's gonna last me for another 7 years. So once I did this, when I got a holster for that particular firearm that I was indeed going to use for a long time and not plan on changing, uh, I did this other paint job, which is the most recent one that I show you for the holster firearm. I'm not gonna take the gun out of the holster just in case. I'm just gonna show you the holster because that's the purpose of the video, is not to show you the firearms, to show you the holster. So I did this kind of like try to imitate this one, but much better. This the Mythosaur skull, or the Mandalorian skull, as normal people know the symbol, if they actually know the symbol. It's actually carved into the kydex. So that's easy to do if you have a Dremel, one of those fine tips that are for carving, and you just kind of like just scratch the plastic a little bit. It gives it a nice texture, and it looks really nice. I mean, it looks really cool. So what I did is, like I was trying to say, um, is I try to do the same thing. If you can see, I also have another Mandalorian skull, like a smaller one over here. Let me see if I can. Thing is that my lighting has to be what it is for the time being. I'm gonna try and change it to orient it the other way, so that since the camera is there, I'm gonna try and change the lighting going forward to illuminate from this side, so that when I do this, you can actually see what I'm trying to show you. Let me see if I can use the reflection of here. I mean, it works. Okay, so this is the same symbol that the holster has, but smaller, and that's just me with the small fine brush, like painting by hand. So I did the same thing to this one. This is not 7 years in use yet, but sorry, I want to say it's roughly 2-3 months that I've been using this. Not every day, as I said before, I rotate. But this spends a week in my holster every other week. So let's say if I start the first of a month, 5 days with this, or 7 days with this thing, then I switch to another one and to another one, and then it's this one's turns again. So it's been in use for a long time, and I move a lot. I'm not sitting in a desk. I'm like driving around, moving things around, and my kind of work, the work that I do, requires for me to move a lot, and it's a lot of physical work. So this gets bumped into things, scratched, and all that other good stuff. Same procedure. Acrylic paint, the dark green actually I used. And if anybody's interested in the colors that I use for this thing, if you leave a comment on the video, I can actually give you the brand and the color that I use. I would do that, but only if somebody requests it. So anyway, you give it a base. For this, I used white to give it a base, and then over the white, I painted the green color. Covers better like that. And then I did these are the kill marks that appear on Boba Fett's helmet. This is just it's called Arabish. This is the language in Star Wars lingo, and it says "Molo Labe," which is a phrase that I like. And yeah, that's it. Just painted it, spray painted with a black clear, and it doesn't come off. It really doesn't come off. It looks the same. Maybe a couple of wears, like I can see a little black coming out over here, and that's it. Nothing else. No, yes, another one over here that I just spotted, but it actually adds to the weathering that these things are supposed to have, or that I wanted to replicate with a paint job. Weathering, so you've been using it has some battle damage, so every time you bump it into something, you risk scratching it, which is fine because that's the way that it's supposed to be. And I'm loving it, man. And if you think about it, and I think I mentioned on the video that I was doing before this one, I said a bunch of things. Probably not gonna remember what I said, and the video came without the audio. So, but as we all know, if you're into these things and you like, custom stuff, it doesn't have to be gun related. Anything that is custom. If you pay somebody to do a paint job for you, you're actually gonna spend a pretty penny, because these paint jobs are not inexpensive. People who do this thing, they sell them as it is. It's art. So art tends to be expensive, especially if it's good art. I'm not saying this is good art. I'm saying that people that don't do it professionally do have good art. So if you're gonna pay, let's say you're gonna paint your gun or anything else, you send it to a Cerakoting facility and you want the theme, you're gonna pay probably more than what the gun cost you, depending on what kind of firearm you're trying to customize. So with that in mind, having the alternative to do it this way, it's, I think, good, because if you don't like it, then you don't like it. That's it. Just wash it off. You're gonna have the chance to do it because you don't clear coat it until you're happy with the end product. And you just lost, whatever paints you bought, and a little bottle of this acrylic paints. The smaller ones are roughly, like, sometimes they range in between $4 to $7 depending on the quality of them. The ones that I'm using are not the expensive ones. Again, cheap, sue me. Then the set of brushes, because you do need all sizes and they need to be fine hair brushes, so you don't get a lot of brush lines on your work. You actually don't need that. So the finer the hair, I don't know if that's the way you say it in English. I'm sorry about that, guys. So the finer the brushes, the better the result of when you're done painting. Fully washable. You can reuse your brushes. You just need a little cup of water to drop them in. The paint will loosen up. Then you use a Bounty towel and you clean them and you store them. And it's really easy to use. You know what? I probably can show you. I don't know. No, I don't have it over here. I'm not going to show you anything. I was going to show you the set that I bought. It's like $50 and you have a lot of different kinds of brushes that you can use. So I don't know, for me, it looks like a good alternative. Probably in the future, maybe, I don't know, most likely not, then yes, I am going to paint the firearm per se to match the holster. Probably. Not likely, but probably. I'm thinking about it. Probably gonna end up doing it. I already have an idea of what I would do to it. I saw some pictures on the internet of people that have done it professionally, and they look really cool. So I don't know. Maybe I'll get bored enough where I, want to, take it apart and kind of like remove all the grease and all the dirt and everything that it has, because it needs to be really clean. And then hand paint it, which will be nice, because when you hand paint something, you prevent the paint going into places where they don't need to go. Another side note that I want to make, and again, this is not what I want to show you. I'm going to show you the other thing that I did to kind of like get the whole set. Another thing was, what was I going to say? What was I going to say? Okay. Oh yeah. It's perfectly fine for you to customize your defensive tools. And the opinions that I've heard and opinions that I agree with is that as long as you keep in mind that you're not, let's say, representing any kind of crazy violence or something that may indicate that you are, or may say that you are a violent person just because you decided to have a paint job or something added to your tool. So for example, this back plates over here, I believe you can see it. This is the same Mandalorian skull or mythosaur skull that I drew and carved into the holster. This is perfectly fine because this is a Star Wars thing. It's just a character. It's a mythological creature invented by George Lucas that they hunt and they use the skull as a symbol of, I think it's manhood or something like that, or when they become like warriors, if they manage to get one of these monsters, which mythosaurs are huge, by the way. So it's kind of like a movie stuff, kind of like just like the Punisher skull and that kind of thing. It will be very different based on the opinions that I've heard. If here it says smile to the Flash, or something like first come first serve, or some of the things that I've seen that people put into their firearms that may give an attorney, a prosecutor, arguments to say that you are actually a violent person and you probably are out to do things that you're not supposed to be doing. But other than that, these modifications like that, uh, and again, I'm not a lawyer. Don't take my word for it. But I don't think it's gonna be a problem. It's just a movie thing. It's like if you had the S, the Superman's S here, which you can probably find depending on the firearm you have. And there's a lot of different ones that you can use. I happened to find this one for this particular model, which I was amazed because these things, they don't have a lot of aftermarket parts. But I managed to find it and get it, and I'm pretty happy. It looks really cool. And now the set is getting complete with my holster and my magazine carrier. Um, Modifications that I based, I guess, again, based on what I've heard, and people that I follow, that I trust their knowledge. Modifications that I wouldn't do is things that alter the way the tool functions. I don't know, like lighter triggers and that kind of thing. I don't like that. I mean, you can probably change the trigger per se from another company made trigger from the same company that improves a model of a trigger that they released on another model that it was not as good, and then they came up with a new one, but it's a company trigger, from the same company that made the tool. That one I would replace. But there's a lot of things, unless you're competing, and that's something they use for to compete, that you need, more speed and that kind of stuff. That I understand. But if it comes the way it comes, that's the way that I use them. I only replace static things. Uh, the grip, for example, I have a 357 Smith and Wesson 686, and I replace the rubber grips with wood ones because they look nicer, and the grip for my hand it feels better, and it matches the holster, the leather holster that I use to carry that one. So it's 100% static. It doesn't change the way the firearm operates. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say, and I'm going on a tangent that I shouldn't be on. So anyway, did this acrylic paint, clear coat, like four coats. If you are very patient, which I'm not, I would do more than that. It lasts longer. So every time you let it dry, you paint it again. You do it like 7, 8 times, and you're gonna have a thick layer of acrylic flat clear paint on top of your work, and it's gonna protect the paint for longer. Which that's kind of like the way the logic works. It doesn't have to be clear. I also would like to add. I mean, it doesn't have to be clear. Sorry, it doesn't have to be flat or matte paint. It could be glossy if you like glossy stuff. Same thing. It'll protect your paint job. So after that, and after testing it, then I said, well, why not? Maybe I can, paint the other magazine carrier, which I use, that carries 2 magazines. And I did. And this is kind of like the way it looks. So if you're familiar with this character, Boba Fett, this is like the lower part of his helmet, and the cheeks and the sides of the helmet. I try to imitate the way that the sides look. It has like a weird ear here, and on the right side of your head, you're gonna have an antenna that goes up, but that you don't need that here. This because it's a magazine. It's a magazine carrier. But I try to imitate the shape and the color theme and so on and so forth. This one is getting damaged faster, but this goes outside the waist, man. So when you put it on the belt, imagine that my hand, my left hand is the belt. It goes from behind. It sits on my hip like this. So it's gonna be bumping against a lot of things, depending on what I'm doing. So it is bound to. My ducks are about to bark. So me, just in case I need to go and bring them back in or do something, put it on pause and come back. So um anyway, so it's getting scratched like over here and over here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and find me one of those Sharpies. That's something that you should get if you're gonna do these things. Get yourself, besides the bottle of acrylic paint, silver acrylic paint, which is really good, buy yourself a Sharpie that is silver and another one that is gold. Because if you want to fix small things, that Sharpie is awesome. You just kind of like cover, the damage, and then you clear coat it again, and you're good to go. This one I didn't use the Sharpie. I just used the same very fine brush, and I did all the scratches and simulate the metal from the bottom. But all in all, I really really like the end result. To me, it looks really nice. I really enjoy it, and it kind of like fulfills what I was trying to achieve. It's not a professional paint job, but I don't know, I think it looks good enough. Even good enough to sell, if you ask me. Even though I don't do that, but it looks good, if you ask me. So, again, to do these things, and I always think about doing like a video of the process per se, like record myself from start to finish, and because when I start doing one of these things, I finish it on the same day. I have a little OCD issue with that, so I can't have something that are things that are like halfway unless it's a part that I'm waiting, so I have to wait. But it still drives me crazy. So I can do one of these in a day as long as I have the design and everything planned. I can do it in a day. That's not hard to do, and that's why I say I'm not patient, because you do need to wait for things to dry. So I struggle a little bit because I don't let things dry properly sometimes. And I forgot the train. I was gonna go. There was something, that I was gonna say that had to do with the speed that you do it. Basically, yeah, yeah, and I remember. So those little markers actually help you with that. So you can fix whatever got scraped, and then clear coat it again, and you're good to go. I'm gonna wait to see, what it does, and how far the scratches go, and the damage goes, so that it comes, because it actually looks natural. So what this tells me is that this is where the magazine is rubbing against whatever it is rubbing against. So this is a natural scratch, which I am going to preserve. So I'm just gonna paint over it and just make it look as if the metal was coming from under the paint job. And oh, now I remember what I was gonna say. So I have not recorded myself doing the whole process per se, because it's gonna be hours long, and then I'm gonna have to go and either put the recording on high speed, making stops to make comments, and it's gonna take me forever to do one thing. Probably not gonna be able to do it in a day. What I did do though is I took a bunch of pictures of the several stages of the paints, and I'm gonna add it to the end of the video of this, just showing that I'm doing. And I'm gonna be talking over them as I show you guys. I show you the pictures, which is the next best thing that I can think of. So I'm just gonna be, popping up a bunch of pictures, and then hitting next, and describing what I did, and then showing you in the end a picture of the whole set, and the helmet that I use to base the paint off. So this is not the end of the video with that in mind. So we're just gonna move on to I don't know, the how to or the process that I use. So see you there. Okay, guys, welcome to this side of the video. So here you can see the magazine carrier with the white coat that I talked about. This is also acrylic, and it doesn't have to be completely white. It doesn't have to be very like perfect, and all you need is to cover as much of the surface with the base color that you're gonna use. And it doesn't have to be white either, so you can do your own thing. If you want to paint with another color, you can do gray and white, in my experience, are the best bases that you can use. Before you start adding the themes, the colored themes that are going to be showcasing your work, I would strongly suggest to use either white or gray, and no dark grays, just light grays and whites, and they should be if it is acrylic or any like hand paint, they shouldn't be glossy either, because the gloss kind of like has a quality, how can I say this, so it's harder for other paints to adhere to it, to attach to it, I think. Well, at least that's the way that's my experience. So don't take my words on anything I say. So it's just the way that I've done it in the past, and I have painted a lot of stuff, because this is a hobby of mine. I used to paint full Star Wars costumes before. I used to paint props. I used to paint. We even worked in painting on a full R2 unit from a friend of mine back in the day, that somebody lent it to him if he could fix it. So we ended up fixing it and painting it, and it looks really nice. Looked really nice. Ended up looking really cool. But painted a bunch of stuff like blasters for Star Wars, from you name it. Costume Mandalorian armor. I've done a lot of things because it's a hobby of mine. Again, so I used to do it a lot. Anyway, for me, white and light gray are the best bases that you can use. So I strongly recommend those, but you can experiment it with other things depending on what your end result needs to be. I'm not gonna talk a lot about techniques. There's a bunch of techniques that you can use for your battle damages, but I'm just gonna tell you how I did this. This is not the best technique there is, but it is the fastest one. And since this magazine carrier is going to be scratching against things, I figured, you know what, I'm not going to take a long time to paint it. I'm just going to do it, make sure that I like it, and then continue from there. But maybe in the future I'll show you another technique that takes a long time, but it looks way cooler when you're done with it. So anyway, just kind of like spread it around and make sure that it covers as much of the base or what you want to paint, and what you foresee is going to have color on it, and start there. So as you can see, the first thing I did is I actually traced this with a pencil. One of the advantages of the white base. And you see those letters here, it says VC, that's Spanish for verde claro, which is light green, because Boba Fett's helmet has two tones of green on the cheeks. One, hunter green is the name of the paint, and when you use spray cans, and then a lighter green on the bottom. And like gives it a little contrast, and it gives it depth, even though the helmet per se has, it's three-dimensional, so it has depth. This one you need to try to mimic the depth, and so it worked for this project. So I had the kind of like, I don't know if it's burgundy red or something, then the green, and then I put a note there so I remember that I needed to use another color. You probably don't need to do that because you can't remember. You probably will be able to remember that this is the lighter green. and not having to write it down. It helps to do things like that, especially if you're engaged in several projects though. So as you can see, this is just the first coats of the paint. So you can see the white still showing off in the background. And I did not paint the center of it. I hope you can see my pointer. Uh, in the center of it, you don't see it because that's supposed to be the visor. On a Boba Fett helmet, it's called the T visor. And of course, on the original helmet, this is a straight line all the way from here to here, but you know it has the curve, so you kind of like try to mimic what it may look like. So let's go to the next picture. This is after at least, I'm gonna say 3, 4 coats of paint, and the green looks way better now. And then the first coat of the light green color, just kind of like and you can see the helmet that I use as a model in the back. I was kind of like you see the different colors here. I'm gonna show you a nice picture of this helmet. By the way, I painted myself too a long time ago, and you're gonna get the whole idea behind it if you still don't. So this is the quote unquote end product without the light. I mean, not the light, the clear coat, the flat clear coat on it. It's not 100% perfect, but I really like that. Maybe I should have made this line, this red line, thicker after I saw it because it's different. But I really don't care about that. I just wanted to look the part, and it does. And if you're not paying attention, people are not gonna notice it. You probably didn't notice that until I mentioned it, or some of you probably didn't notice that until I mentioned it. If it bothers me too much, I'll just probably cover it and paint it. But I don't think it will. And this is what I was trying to mimic. This, granted, this is a deeper red color, burgundy color, and I try to imitate to the best of my abilities and the space that I was working with, kind of like the same where the damages are, because this is very specific to the helmet. If you know about the 501st Legion, they give you a costume reference library that you can use, and the battle damages and the weathering and everything is required to be almost the same as the original. They allow approximations, of course, because it will be ridiculous for you to really imitate that. But some guys are really good at it. I took my time. They have stencils for it, so that it kind of like lands on the same place and it has the same shape. And I kind of like worked around it. It looks really good. So that's what I try to do here. I like make it look as close as possible as the model that I was using. And let's go to the next picture. And this is the whole set. I don't know, guys. I really like it. I think it looks really cool. It looks really really cool. I'm very very happy with the end result. These are the kill marks that I was talking to you about. And sorry, I added the same amount of kill marks that appear in the helmet onto the holster. And here's another angle. Well, it's kind of like the same angle, but a little different. And here's a little close-up of the magazine. Now he has the magazine carrier already. Now he has the coat, the clear coat. You see the tone of the paint changed a little bit, so it kind of like revives it a little bit, which is what happened to this one. It's really flat when I painted it, and then I added the flat clear, and it gives it kind of like props it up a little bit, which helps with the silver tones in the bottom, because you need those to look like scratched metal, or paint scratch and then metal coming from the bottom. And as you can see, I'm gonna take a little side note. If you pay attention to that part over here, you can see over here. Sorry, you can see it has depth to it. That's not an optical illusion, it has depth. So if you rub your hand through it, you're gonna feel the paint when it changes from the red to the silver, because it's on top of the silver. So the way that you do this kind of battle damage, just gonna. I said I was not gonna do it. I'm gonna give you a quick overview of how you do that. Once you have your base color, let's say silver is your base color. You know which part you want to keep silver, because you're gonna throw this red paint on top of all your silver, but you need this particular piece over here, let's say, to remain silver because it's a scratch or a battle damage. So what you do is that you design with a stencil or by hand the damage and how you want it to look, kind of like trace, the outline, and then in the center of it, you with a fine brush, you put toothpaste on it. So you cover the part that you don't want to paint with toothpaste. There is something called, I think, liquid tape or something like that also works, but toothpaste is cheaper, readily available, and in my opinion much better than that rubber stuff, because that rubbery stuff, you need to really wait until the paint is curated, and then you can remove it and it comes off as a tape. With the toothpaste, you can just wait for it to be dry and then you wash it off with water, and it comes off, and because you cannot paint, toothpaste doesn't take the paint, comes off, and it doesn't pulls on the new paint that you spray it on top of the silk. And this is kind of like how I did most of these things. The really smaller ones were with a really fine brush. It has like, I think it has like 3 hairs on it, or he had like 3 hairs on it. So you can like just paint a little bit over it, paint a little bit over it. All these little scrapes are like that, but the bigger ones, this and this, is a stencil, and then me adding toothpaste, spraying over it, and then washing it with water. Just water, no detergents needed, just water, cold regular water with a hose. And this is the end result. Again, all these little dots and spots and things that were done by hand, like, but the big ones are done with that system. It takes a long time, it takes a lot of patience, but the end result is that you have layers of paint. So you can feel is the word that I was looking for before. So you can feel the layer of the paint when you rub your finger through this portion over here. So it's red and silver, and your finger feels that it feels as if it was scraped off. So it's really cool. This is another side, and that's it. So again, this is a do-it-yourself project that it may or may not interest you. You may find this video really stupid. You may not understand what I was trying to explain. That's perfectly fine. This is just something that I do for fun. When I get the chance to do it, if I'm not really busy or I don't have anything else to do, I kind of like to do these things. So besides writing, I like writing too. I actually have a YouTube and a Rumble channel that is dedicated to some I'm gonna say quote unquote literary work that that I have in my head, and I'm kind of like pouring it out. I'm not gonna say it's good, but it's fun to do. If you're interested on that, you can check it out. It's called Dark Angel Chronicles. If you want, I can drop a link in the description box so you can give it a look. I already have two smaller novels over there. One is in the works still, so I have like 2 chapters uploaded. I'm finishing up on the chapter 3, and one full novel that's a spin-off from the original one that actually can stand on its own. So I'm just writing because I like it anyway, and I do these things because I also like it. Here they go. My dogs are gonna bark. Now they're gonna bark. I think no, they didn't. So sorry guys. Today I'm all over the place. So anyway, this is a hobby. It's really fun to do. If you like painting, if you like customizing your things, I would recommend for you to give this a try. And who knows? Uh, you may like it and keep doing it. So, with nothing left to say, and asking you that if you like this content, to please drop me a thumbs up, please share it, and please subscribe so that when I upload another video, you're notified and you can come and we can, share this together. If you have any comments, if you have any questions about the processes that I use, if you want more detailed explanation about anything related to the holsters, the magazine carriers, or even the helmet per se, I am more than happy to respond to those, because I do remember exactly what I did to this thing. I may not remember where I got the stencils from, but I think I can find them again, or at least point you to the right direction so you can ask questions where you can find them. They're free, so you download them and you use them. It gives you a guide and it tells you the colors and everything. So it's a really comprehensive guide, and the stencils are really, really awesome. So I can give you the details of what I did here and what I did there if you're interested in that. No problem. But really important, guys, like, share, subscribe to help me grow. And with nothing left to say for now, and hoping that you enjoyed this video, Random Reviews signing out.